Whoa, 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 whoa. It has been forever, and I'm sorry for that, okay? I have just been coming to the realization that I think we're just probably in modern day millennial Armageddon. I took a huge break off making videos, and I actually was working on a Rainbow Six video for you guys because I was wanting to play the game, and I'm gonna be honest, I lost interest in playing that game like not even a full month into playing it. I gave it 3 weeks hardcore a try. It just wasn't for me. But fast forward to current day, gaming had just gone to shit.
I was one shot, baby. I got something stuck in my teeth, yeah.
I gotta pluck my eyebrow.
Oh, baby, please.
There's a lot of things that I want to talk about, but first and foremost, I think focusing on the gaming production aspects and the just any video production aspects, I think it's a good idea to focus on for specifically this channel. I don't want to get into a gaming channel because that's just another channel entirely, and I'll have to create another YouTube channel that I don't mind doing down the road. But what could be easier and makes more sense and easier also for me to edit is doing these videos more critiquing on like producers in both aspects, producers and directors in games, producers and directors in the movie franchise. I can play pretty much on the fence when it comes to both sides. And what I wanted to talk about today was the directors and these companies failing on the gamer aspect and that side. And then I want to talk about the directors in the film industry failing on that side. Two-part video. Either you're working or you're struggling to find work, and trust me, I feel you on that. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first one I want to cover is Destiny. Destiny has been covered by Aztec Cross. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I thoroughly enjoyed watching his videos. Not necessarily for the gameplay, because I think it's more his live that you catch more of the gameplay. But when he does his videos, he's pretty firm grasp of the Destiny community, and a lot of my online friends really enjoy Destiny. I played Destiny 1, huge fan. Then come to find out that the company was sold to, I don't know, whoever. I don't want to keep up with it in that depth. I just want to talk about the direction of like the leadership in that game. So Bungie is like dying out because of Marathon. There was always been talk of like Destiny 1, Destiny 2, and then what the community wanted apparently was a Destiny 3. And that was just never given to those people. And it kind of sucks because you play a game for so long and you come to the realization that like this company really doesn't care about you. And most of us, like average gamers that don't make a lot of videos or really didn't make a living off like making these types of videos to begin with, pretty much all, if not most, are in agreement that these companies never really cared about like us, and that kind of sucks. Not for like, oh, I want them to like personally care about me. It's like we've been pushed to the side for so many years that this kind of stuff is happening. Specifically, companies are being bought out and a lot of people are being laid off. A whole lot of drama going into like that kind of stuff in general. And what honestly sucks is you put so much time into these games and you want some valid updates. It went strong for so many years just for the company to be like, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to go to a different franchise, which it's going to happen regardless. But when you get such a strong community like the Destiny community, and then you have these game developers, game directors, or whatever director, and you see these people resign, that should pretty much give you an idea of like how the next 5 to 6 years are going to go. I have been saying for the longest time that after Advanced Warfare, or not Advanced Warfare, sorry, after Warzone launched for Modern Warfare, that the games would be dying. And I remember doing a Twitch stream on my old Twitch channel. It's no longer there. I have a new Twitch channel. If you want to go check that out, it's in my bio. Feel free. It's a brand new channel. I said this a long time ago, and I got a lot of hate for it back in the day. I said that as soon as Warzone came out, this is the start of the downhill battle that's going to be what's currently going on today. So Bungie sold out. No surprise there. Had an entire team go to Marathon, I've never played Marathon. I'm not going to speak about Marathon. I don't know the story. I don't know the lore. But I can tell you that when you take a company like Bungie and you try to forcefully work on a game that obviously they're not really passionate about, it only adds fuel to the fire and why their player base is not really doing so well currently, right? And I'll get screenshots and I'll put it on there as I'm talking. You know, of course, do my due diligence, but this was a while ago. So this video was a month ago that Aztec Cross did the layoffs. Like since then, it's been like the layoffs for Bungie, as well as they're trying to have dedicated teams for Marathon, and looking at the numbers of like Asmongold, Aztec Cross, some Ordinary Gamer, like all these YouTube channels that play games, like the average person like you and me, come to the same conclusion that these companies are, not only do they not care about you, they're not pushing updates, they're not completing games, they're charging outrageous prices, and inflation's already, we'll get to the inflation part, right? Because I trust me, that's why I wanted to make it a 2-part video. The inflation part of these games being so expensive and them spending hundreds of millions of dollars to create an incomplete game to launch to you, so that me and you, the average player, has to pay for that to basically fund their updates to a game that will never be complete. And arguably Obsidian, I believe, is the company who's making Grounded, that made Grounded 1 and 2. It took so long for Grounded 2 to get an update that I just straight up like lost interest, because these live update service type games are just, it's not the move anymore. You know what I mean? Okay, first up is Destiny. Straight up current to date, not comparing Destiny 1. I couldn't find Destiny 1 actually, at least on the website. Maybe I needed to go further down the chart. But this is the direct connection of player bases from Destiny 2 to Marathon. So currently right now, Destiny has 38,258 players with a peak of 54,448. Compared to Marathon, the new Bungie bought out, sold out company, which a whopping 3,690 players with a 24-hour peak of 7,320. Not hating on Marathon players, not hating on Destiny 2 players, Destiny 2 players, Destiny 1 players, you got hoed. I'm pretty much on your side with that. Marathon, 3,690 players for how much that the company was bought out for, how much the company has put into that game. Just fucking kill the game. Yeah. This is probably the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in my life. The comparison in player base is astronomically disrespectful. For anyone trying to compare Marathon to Destiny, it's not even fucking close at all. Here comes another company by Legendary Drops. Shout out to all these guys, okay? Because I don't want to take any of their work away that they put into researching. They did, you know, we try to do our due diligence. Small channels to big channel. I follow these guys again for their entertainment and their information, and I'm just like sitting here thinking they're right. Like, I have never played Skyrim. I have it. The wifey gave it to me for Twitch, or gave it to me to play, and I haven't played it yet. I've been playing The Last Caretaker. But the interesting part is Legendary Drops has been just released this video yesterday. It's 07/26/26. So he released it yesterday talking about Bethesda and how they take like forever to produce a game. I thought Bethesda was in charge of Assassin's Creed. Am I wrong? I don't know. I know it's a quick Google search, but going off the top of my head, that's how much I don't play. That's Ubisoft, but that's besides the point. That's how much I don't play like Ubisoft or Bethesda type games. I'm not in that realm, so I don't want to like cross any lines. But in this specific video that's on my screen, go follow him if you're already following him. You already watched the video, yada, yada, yada. I find it very depressing. These gaming companies have been around for so long. Not only have they been around for so long, but they're charging these outrageous prices for not even releasing new games. Like, apparently Skyrim has been released 15 times. Am I hearing that right? 15 times the same game. Like, I understand like a Halo remaster and like a Ultra Halo like remaster after remaster. Like, that's only 2 or 3 times, but even then, like Skyrim 15 times for new updated for the console and PC series. Like, dude, no. I thought that they were making games every other year. Apparently not the case. like, fuck. Next up is Bethesda. Well. Is it wrong that I'm comparing a game from 2011 to a game that was released in the 28th of October 2016? Not really. It's the same game. The fact that people are... This is going to be... Matter of fact, look. Like I said, it's just disrespectful to the player base. Okay, let's start with the newest Elder Scrolls first. Okay, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim Special Edition that came out in the 28th of October 2016. There are 29,000, we'll round that down, 29,000 players with a 24-hour peak of, we'll round this up, 37,000. The all-time peak for the Special Edition game was 69,906. So we'll round it up to 70,000. Back in 2011, still there are 1,570 people playing the game, 1,778 during a 24-hour peak. This game came out years ago, a fucking long time ago, with an all-time peak of 287,411 players 14.7 years ago. It beat out the new Special Edition. Why did I bring this up as a comparison? That's the same game, new release, new consoles, whatever. It's the fact that if I search fucking Bethesda as a company, the only thing... Hold on, I'm going to show you. The fact that I fucking have to search Bethesda as a gaming company, right? So if I click Bethesda, the first fucking thing that pops up is Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. What was the other fucking new game that they have released? Fallout? Like, is that it? Fallout New Vegas? Isn't that the last Fallout? Starfield was Starfield was the newest game they released. My bad. Starfield was the newest release. And we already looked at the numbers, right? Remember, 2011, 300 and whatever players all-time peak. The same people that were playing Skyrim for 14.7 years, right, before the new updated Elder Scrolls came out, as well as Skyrim. 4,982 players with a peak of 6,000 and an all-time peak of 330,000. These kind of numbers are so far into the negative 2.8 years ago, nearly 3 years ago. You're so far into the negative of like you're min-maxing on your return of investment. It's not even funny. Now, I do know a lot about Starfield. Starfield, when it launched, it was probably... Okay, I'm going to say probably, because I think Fallout New Vegas takes the cake for like worst launch games, and it was before Starfield. But again, it's by Bethesda. So when your company is notorious when your company is notoriously known for launching games that just don't work, I think you need to pack it up, bud. I think you need to start firing some people. What the fuck? Why would this ever be a thing? Hold on, let's go. Okay, there we go. Here's what I had up originally. How the fuck does a fucking damn near 15-year-old game almost have the same amount of numbers of a brand new ass game that came out barely 2.8 years, so almost 3 years ago? So 15 years versus 3 years ago. We have a 15-year-old game. 15 years. I was still in high school in 2011. I was a sophomore in high school in 2011. Again, never touched Skyrim. My cousin did. Never touched it. How these numbers are abysmal. Oh, if I can put it up into percentage wise, what is this, like 2%, right? 2.5%. I'm not the best math person. Okay. We'll say 2.5% for my argument's sake. Okay, don't fucking correct me on my math. If someone wants to do the math, but put it in the comment section. 2.5% of current day's players on Starfield are playing a game that came out 15 fucking years ago. I just pack it out. I'm getting pissed off just talking about this, so I think I'm gonna end this segment. I have the numbers up here for you to compare yourself. This is a pile of shit is what I'm looking at from Bethesda. Probably from a creator that some, if not most, don't really care about your opinion. I enjoy watching who I like to watch. Now, he didn't say what was happening to Arc Raiders. This is just a video posted 6 months ago pretty much him calling out the downfall of Arc Raiders, which he usually does with games. Say what you want about him, but when it comes to playing games and like the devs of games and the approach of map design, this guy knows what he's talking about. What happened to Arc Raiders was just like the quickest downfall I've ever seen in a game, like ever. I really enjoy playing Arc Raiders, but like dealing with cheaters like in the first week of the game being out is just abysmal. Then you have the PvP versus the PvE like argument of just the devs did nothing. What I'm trying to get at is that all these games have something in common. Okay, the direction of the game, the directors of the games that resign, they have like no direction of what they want to be in the future. Be it Bethesda, be it Bungie, Arc Raiders, whatever company made Arc Raiders, they have no direction on what they want to design, of what they want their fan base to be. And don't get me wrong, like it's still a fun game. It's just like there's nothing. It's like Grounded, right? It's like Grounded 2 up until the recent update. Let's use that as an example. Like there's a game there. It's just not finished. I don't know. Maybe it's the old school gamer coming out of me, but like when I want to play a game, I want to play like a completed game with a campaign, and then it so happens to have a multiplayer. I guess because I was spoiled by Call of Duty way back in the day, like Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, what was it? War.War. Call of Duty Ghosts, probably one of my favorite all-time Call of Duties ever made, and I will die on that hill that it's the game that started it all. It had everything. It had your campaign. It had your zombies mode, which was a new alien type mode, right? It had voice actors come in, like out of the blue voice actors. You can be Michael Myers as a kill streak. I believe you had Snoop Dogg, you had Ice Cube, and this is Black Ops 2 as well. Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, and I think Marshall Mathers did a voiceover. I could be wrong, but it's been a hot minute. Haven't played Call of Duty since Warzone came out, but like that, these games had like a direction. It knew what kind of game it wanted to be. Call of Duty being the arcade type FPS that happened to have zombies. It had a massive community. It wasn't no niche community. As much as people want to push it, there was a big community for zombies back in the day, right? Arc Raiders had that. It had that multiplayer with built-in lore. And then there was a skill check, and that's one of my main arguments for why Ghost is a great game during its alien extraction shooter, if you will. Well, basically, yeah, it is an extraction shooter at the very end. I mean, it had to do with like a big skill check of you playing these rounds, doing an objective, beating these mini bosses all the way into the end till you beat the boss to then extract. Like it was basically the start of extraction shooters, if we all think about it. Like I will die on a hill. It's the game that started it all. Now it's not doing so hot right now. Cheaters are going to always be a problem. I don't think it's ever going to be like a perfect game without cheaters. Somehow, when I brought up Ghost, I don't think there was hardly any cheaters, if not any cheaters, until after a while, obviously, playing the game. I don't know what they did back then, but it just worked. Arc Raiders had that momentum and it fumbled. It just lacked the updates. It lacked playlists so you can do PvE or PvP, which it would have just been a simple fix. Like it wasn't going to split their fan base. What they could have did was have the PvE focus more on the lore side and have that be like an actual campaign of the game. And then if they wanted to re-release it for like $10, I would have bought it. Like a whole ass, you get to play every map and it's part of the campaign. PvE, you get to keep all your loadouts or whatever. Like it would be like a campaign version of that game. Absolutely would have played the shit out of it. But like currently, I haven't touched the game since 4 updates ago, 5 updates ago. I don't know how long that would be. Not these hot fixes. I'm talking like major updates. So like before these 2 new maps came out, basically the last time I played Arc Raiders. When it first came out is the last time I played Arc Raiders. Like the first 2 months maybe. And I'll go correct myself. I'll open up Steam. But the direction is just it's like right there, and it's just people can't agree on this fuck ass PvE versus PvP. Just make them separate playlists. And give me a campaign so I can go enjoy the campaign. But also, if I want to get frisky and want to go fight other players and also do some quests, different quests that have to do with the versus the campaign part aspect, by all means, and I'll I'll do that. It's a skill check, whatever it is, what it is. I'll lose my gear. But to have to constantly go through that, and then also stacked on Dallas servers, the cheating that goes on with it, it's like, dude, no. Like, I want to get on the game and just like relax, and if I want to lock in, then lock in at certain points. But like, if I want to play a campaign, then make it a campaign game. I think that's the view that they lost when they were all these companies were trying to funnel into live service only games. Like, live service only worked for a certain game unless you had, let's say, Titanfall. I believe Titanfall had a huge campaign, right? It also happened to have a multiplayer, but they had the direction they wanted for the campaign, how they wanted to make that, and then they had a multiplayer. And it's just like, oh, it so happens to have a multiplayer. Call of Duty used to be the same way. It had a campaign, killer campaign. It had a killer co-op, Modern Warfare 2. I'm like, come on, yo. It had a killer co-op, and it happened to have multiplayer. But multiplayer was never its driving force, in my opinion. It was evenly split. You had campaign, you had multiplayer, and then you had co-op. And then boom, 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 zombies comes into the picture. It's like bam, 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 bam. It's everything. It covers all the grounds that you need. And after Warzone launched, I swear it was in my own stream, and I can't pull it up. The information is forever lost. I called it the day of. I said that when Warzone drops, this is the downfall of all gaming companies. And what happened after that? You had Blackout for Call of Duty. No one played that shit. As much as like Swag and I don't watch streamers like that anymore, but like all these people who are hardcore trying to say that Call of Duty was like the best thing ever, including Dr. Disrespect that's behind me, the whole Nick Mertz, like all this fucking drama, and there's always going to be fucking drama, but like for the game aspect, it was like the start of the downhill for every single game, which is why Arc Raiders, when it dropped, it was like, oh wow, this is a refreshing PvP PvE experience, and it has lore. It's like, wow, this is a brand new game. I wonder what direction they're going to go in. And then they lead it to nothing. Then you get games like Grounded 2 that come out as a beta and stay in beta for I think it's going on like a year plus, just in its not a completed game, in my opinion. Not what I paid the price for. But it's a cool thing that I own it, so when they finally release it, I can always go back and play it. But if it's going to be like this live service aspect for the game, because it's constantly buggy for fucking Arc Raiders, for Bethesda being notoriously known for buggy games, and then you have fucking Bungie's Marathon. Like, what direction are gamers trying to go? What am I going to spend my money on that's going to like take me out of the fucking, just like so I can get lost in games? Like, am I gonna be playing Apex? No, because like that shit is one sweaty as fuck, and people play it, and it's just like the fun aspect is out of it for me. All these competitive games, the fun aspect is out of it. Call me wash, call me whatever, skill check. I don't care. The fact that you think I'm gonna sit here and play a live service game and get pretty much all my time wasted and get like nothing out of it, no lore, no campaign aspect. It's like, I'm not gonna play that game forever. And I think a lot more younger people are waking up to that fact, of people who weren't even born when the Bethesda came out, or people who weren't even born to know who Dr. Disrespect even is, people who weren't even born to play the first Halo game. Like, they're getting into these games like, wow, this game is great and it came out so long ago, why couldn't we have like a newer game but like up to date for this? And there's just no direction. It's just, we're in like the literal, since 9/11 for millennials, we're in like, everything has come on the up and up. Like when we were kids playing outside, we were on the up and up, right? And everything was going good. But then like shit just kept hitting the fan. Boom, hurricane, or boom, power outage, no toilet paper, highway crashes, 16-wheelers, people like drivers who can't read signs in English crashing. Another fucking big point would be hello from Gamers Nexus, which is another topic I wanted to talk about. It's quite literally the Millennial Armageddon. Fucking Gamers Nexus saying that spyware is in LG TVs, and that when people buy extension cords, there's microphones in it. Or when I go outside, an ordinary gamer is telling me that there's flock cameras being installed. And then you get into like the news aspect of people in Houston, the area that I live, are just they're taking the time out of their day because no one can find a job. We'll get into that in the second video because this video is going to be about the game aspect. We'll get into the real life aspect of like the struggles of trying to find a job and inflation into the second video because it's just too much to talk about. Like the literal millennial Armageddon of like what the fuck is happening, you know? It's like what the fuck. Oh boy, let's start with Bethesda. Okay, I've written out something for you. For Bethesda, my Bethesda lovers. Bethesda built its empire on massive worlds like Skyrim and Fallout. We already saw that. We just compared those numbers. But lately, fans feel like the company has been surviving off nostalgia instead of innovation. Yes. Fallout 76. Okay, so I was not correct when I searched up. I wasn't correct about the New Vegas. It was Fallout 76 that I remember. Fallout 76 launched as a disaster. That was that game. I corrected myself. Sorry. Starfield divided players. We already talked about that. And many are questioning if Bethesda can still create the unforgettable worlds they were known for. Highly doubt it. We looked at the numbers. Everyone who plays those games will tell you it's a dead company. I hear they're having layoffs now. Oh, big surpriser. Someone got put on the spot recently. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about any of this. Okay, let's talk about Bungie. Bungie was once the king of shooters with Halo and Destiny. Oh, we never talked about that. Yeah, dude. When Bungie released Halo, I think I was in like elementary school. Was I in elementary school? I could have been in middle school. No, I think I was in elementary school. Yeah. When Bungie released Halo, like holy fuck, was I put on like the massive game of like fantasy shooters or whatever you want to call it. But when Halo came out, like holy fuck, it changed everyone's life. If you were alive during that era, you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying the issues about nostalgia. Like when these games came out, they had the campaign, they had the direction they wanted to go. There was no multiplayer. I think for some Xbox Live there was a multiplayer, but that was for like something different, and maybe that was during Halo 2. But like when first Halo dropped, up until like Halo 2, and then I think you had like ODST or something, like these things that came out afterwards. And then multiplayer started being implemented, but like not in that way. There was like not competitive shooters, but like these more sandbox modes that you can fight each other in. More team deathmatch, pre-Call of Duty. So Destiny, okay, so King of Shooters with Halo and Destiny. Destiny came out when I was, I think, a freshman in high school or in 8th grade. One of those. No, freshman in high school or later. I'm getting my dates mixed up, but it came out way later. I was already like grown into teens by then. When Destiny 1 came out, that shit changed my perspective. Like, I felt like I was playing Halo again for the first time with like the soundtrack going off. It was like, holy shit, this new sci-fi fantasy type world. Hold on, let me fucking fix this. Insane type of game that came out, and I couldn't figure out how like to do the builds, and it took me like I'm telling you, it took me months, and I was doing football and I was doing wrestling. Again, this is freshman year of high school, and I'm just all over the place. I don't think words can describe like the feeling. Like I don't know how else to describe it. The feeling of like playing these games when they first launch, it'll change your life. It changed your perspective. It changed how you like felt about like the real world issues, like trying to travel into space. Like it got your brain thinking of like, man, this is just all-time peak of gaming. One of the best games you could ever play. This is before like streamers, competitive. This is like when YouTube was YouTube, right? During this era of like just peak gaming. So let's talk about Destiny 2. So the problem with Destiny 2 is the expensive expansions. Apparently you guys have player burnout just from the research, and layoffs have damaged its reputation. Now we know about the layoffs because that was the Astacross video. He talked about that in that video, and I'll put the thumbnail back up on the screen so you can see it, but go back to that video. That video was 6 months ago, I believe, and if he's released any other information, then you can follow his channel or go watch his videos on the channel. to get more in depth of like, because he's more of with that community of Destiny 1 and 2. So the other notes that I have here was that Bungie is a studio famous for community trust is now struggling to convince players to keep coming back. And I think that's not even up to current with like that mindset of opinion. I think that died off like years ago. When I distinctly remember when Destiny 2 came out, and I tried it day one of that little free trial or whatever for Destiny 2. Even I, as not a advent hardcore Destiny 1 player, I still completed Destiny 1. Don't get me wrong. Like all the DLCs and all that. That was when I had my PlayStation. That was crazy, insane. Like I said, I can't fucking circle jerk them enough for like how well of a job they did for Team Bungie. But when Destiny 2 came out, that was just like, nah, I'm good. I was in my Call of Duty era during that time, and Destiny 2 dropped. I was just like, what the fuck is this piece of shit? That I'll leave it at that, because again, I don't want to overstep and say that like it is my opinion on during the time how I felt. I was like, this is garbage. And there's gonna be a lot of people from Destiny 1 saying like that it wasn't that bad, and it had its ups and downs for like being Destiny 2. This is during like the beta or whatever, the little trial that you can play the game. I just didn't get that same feeling, and I kind of knew it's in the back of my spine that, oh shit, this is gonna keep happening. And as a millennial, you kind of get used to that, especially the elder millennials. Like for instance, like situations like 9/11. Since then, shit's been on downward spiral. Like even for the fire games put out, those are probably the best distractions until you start like getting into real life applications of the car industry, the working industry, the can't get hired, fucking ghost jobs. It was a down spiral. Like that was the start, and now we're here. So besides me being crazy, Arc Raiders have massive potential, but it enters one of the game's most brutal markets, extraction shooters. We already talked about that. With games like Escape from Tarkov, Call of Duty Warzone modes, and other competitors fighting for attention, one bad launch could bury it before it even gets started. Now, I don't want to continue with one bad launch. Let's call a spade, okay? It was actually a phenomenal launch. I think it did fairly well. It easily beat out a Warzone. Remember, we're not talking about the Blackout because I want to keep talking about that. That was its own version of like WR, or what was it? Not WR, Battle Royale, BRs. Blackout was okay. But like when Warzone came out and all those fucking bullshit, Verdansk, that's when you saw all the like the Tim the Tatman videos and shit. And he was so cool with the Dr. Disrespect and Nick Mercs before they fucking became bitches and turned on each other and all that. Again, your opinion on Dr. Disrespect, keep it to yourself. But I have some ex-friends that have done. Yeah, I understand why they would cut him off. Anyways, besides the point. This is about gaming. It had a successful launch. It had a good player base, but when it came to like actually like executing the idea of what they wanted to go with, Arc Raiders fell. Like it didn't fall. It was fucking Icarus. It was like they were soaring so high and they got too close to the sun. And then on top of that, they had this parasite of cheaters. So it's like good game, good launch. And then you had the PvP, PvE, like being argumentative towards each other. Like fucking, I want to say that these motherfuckers would like physically fight you. That's like PvP is way better and it's more exciting. And it's like, I don't know, because like that's all we've been playing for the last, I don't know how many years of like PvP for FPSs. And it's like, this shit's getting old, man. And you guys wanted to hate on us, and then now it's a dead game. But what happened to all the people saying that it's a great game and you wanted to, like, you'll only play PvP? You motherfuckers were the first one to leave. As soon as the new Call of Duty came out, you're like, all right, deuce, time to go play Call of Duty. Or when Battlefield came out, you're like, all right, deuce. And you dropped fucking, you dropped Arc Raiders. Not only that, but you ruined it for the PvE people that left prior to that. And now it's like, we told you what we wanted as a player base. You didn't listen. You wanted to listen to the people that wanted to only do PvP. So we lost lore, we lost new updates, we lost new maps, all because of these motherfuckers that wanted to PvP all the time. Like you gotta have a balance, right? And no one's in the wrong for that. You have to have a balance for both. PvP is fun as hell. I come from competitive shooters since it launched. I was there when it was written. kind of thing. But it's like, I don't want to always play that. I don't want to always be competitive. Sometimes I want to play the same game, but a story mode or a campaign mode or a co-op mode where it's just me fighting the Ark. And it was a great idea. Like, why can't you just give both the people what they want kind of things? And then fucking Warzone and Battlefield came out, and then these motherfuckers just jump ship and they go back and play Ark Raiders, but they don't stay on. The PvP people don't understand that without the PvE, it was nothing. You have to understand that. Now, like currently right now, those PvP motherfuckers, and we just pulled up the numbers for today, currently. We just pulled up the numbers. Do you honestly think that the PvE or the PvP players are having a grand time fighting against the same people with free loadouts, doing the same shit, same rotations, any and all day? Like, that's why they're like, well, if I'm already doing that here, I might as well go back to Call of Duty. I might as well go back to Battlefield, because it's nothing new. They have to understand that they were a part of the problem. And I get it. I get you want that competitive aspect, but it doesn't always have to be a fucking competitive game. It just does not. That's how games die. Currently, right now, in the big 2026, if your only purpose as a gaming company is to try to release fucking something competitive, your game is going to die. We don't want that. We want completed games. We're looking into the small dev companies. I think what I want to do is wrap up the video by saying Hollow Knight did something correct, right? Hollow Knight showed you that you can make a badass game with 3 devs, with a sequel, prequel, whatever you want to call Silksong. You can break Steam, PSN, Xbox. You can break all of these websites for a second game coming out. Mind you, for 3 motherfuckers that wanted to make something that they enjoyed. When you compare Bungie, this big ass behemoth of a company, and they have shrunken down to the little man that they are, you should have heeded our words when we said that this is what's going to kill your game. You should have not listened to these streamers like Swag. Can't even say FaZe, because even FaZe is gone. I believe, right? Someone correct me in the comments. FaZe is gone. You listen to those motherfuckers, and how did that end up for you? You got a couple years, extra money. They made how much? Billions, hundreds of millions off of us, right? Right? Like they made hundreds of millions off of us, billions, if not, for these companies each. And now, just like someone who wins a lottery, they can't control how they spend money. Now it's just magically gone. They have no ideas. Bethesda, abysmal. Fucking Bungie with Marathon. I don't care that the directors left. I'm fucking from the top of the chain to the bottom. These complaints were probably trying to flood all the way up the ladder. Too many people in between. Too many DEI hires. Too many people that are sensitive. When gaming was gaming, when gaming was fucking good, it is like during the Destiny 1. When Destiny 1 came out, any game before, that was peak gaming. I don't care. I'll die on that hill. Peak gaming was when you could play a game through and through, campaign, co-op, whatever, what have you, and you didn't have to worry about really anything else. But these games that come out, and they wanted to try to sell you this live service update kind of bullshit. Like, where did that get you? For the people that are gonna die on the hill of like, well, Destiny 1 was a live service game. Oh, no. I'm not gonna cut that. I was waiting for you to name another game that was like, yeah, this game was live service and it did successful. No. I don't want you to bring up Fortnite or Apex. You're comparing apples to oranges to pears. We're talking about these live service games that weren't BRs. These were online multiplayer games. And if Destiny 1 and 2 are the only games that pop up, well, then you have to follow where Team Bungie went with releasing Marathon. Remember that negative 175.98% of the player base that was converted from, I think that was the percent of players from Destiny 2 to Marathon. That was that percentage, right? If not, I'll correct myself. I'll edit it, whatever. But like, it's no. Like, I don't want any live service game. Please. Like, if you're going to release live service games from this point forth, I will convert my PC to Linux and I'm gonna start pirating every single game. Some people already do. There's some young people that are like, why would I pay for that? Why would I pay for the incomplete game? And you have to agree with them. Why would they pay for an incomplete game? The grown-ups are like, yeah, sure, I don't mind. I don't. Even the people that pirate game, they're like, oh, well, I want to buy the game first to support the company. That works if they're a small, like, A company. I think it's like A, AA, AAA for company types. That kind of works for A and below size company, especially with like Hollow Knight. Like Hollow Knight was not only so cheap, but it was such a passion project that you didn't even have to pirate the game because it was already cheap in itself, and people knew that they were going to get a whole entire game released on arrival, right? It had its kinks, but all games have their kinks, but they released a full goddamn game. And besides Destiny 1, and we're leaving out the BRs because that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about live service multiplayer games that aren't BRs. So Warzone, go fuck yourself, right? In this conversation, there is no other game that can compare to these completed games that we had back in the great era of like the 2012 era. It's just not happening. And the thing is, I don't want people to think that I'm like a D1 athlete hater, but we were trying to, by we, I'm not alone, okay? We were trying to tell you a long ass time ago that if they keep this up, you're going to get a lot more shittier games, and you guys said nothing. And Destiny crew, I'm looking at you. Because again, I'm a big fan of Destiny 1, but I'm not going to include myself into like the hardcore. I played like every update after that. Like, no, as soon as Call of Duty came back out, I was playing Call of Duty like competitively. And then I had to worry about stuff for high school and doing wrestling and all that. Like, I had a life, you know. I touched grass, but I played games, but I touched fucking grass. These people like FaZe Jev or Optic Pomage, like, that was their job because they're slightly older, if not the same age as me. They knew that they wanted to do YouTube like indefinitely, I guess. It wasn't the same for the others that wanted to like make a name for themselves outside of YouTube and just have a social life. And that's just, I guess, being a part of like the millennial trope. It's like we're so out there. We were the original people who were like different. We're the people that they say that we complain the most, and like, yeah, you're goddamn right, we complain the most. Like, we were the generation that looked at these companies and said, this is what y'all been doing the whole entire time, when we were like intimidated by boomers until we were of age to be, we like millennials brush over Gen X because that's how irrelevant Gen X is. Gen X is like the D1 number one haters to millennials, and Gen X has nothing to show for it in their retirement. Like, millennials are right about a lot of things. And when we're talking about games and things, that we've seen this happen time and time again, of these massive corporations thinking that they can just walk all over you. It's the millennials that are reminding you, we told you this earlier, you ignored us, and now you're stuck with what you have. So I think all in all, the thing that I'm trying to tell you, start supporting small devs, start supporting small games. If it's too expensive, let the dev know. Those of you who are like, $20 isn't that bad. It's a lot. $20 is a lot. Okay, $20 fills up most people's gas tanks, or at least gets you half a tank. You got to put it into perspective. Like, you wanted to play games to escape reality, but in order to play games, you need money. So there's always going to be that slight reality that's going to put you in check of that, right? So what you want to do is you have to meet in the middle. Okay, it's got to have a good price. It's got to be a completed game, and the community, as in like the developer, has to have constant communication with the community up until the point where it's like, this is going to be the last update. If they just followed that like through and through, when Call of Duty was still Call of Duty without, you know, you played online multiplayer for the multiplayer aspect, but like mostly people, me, bought it for the campaign and then the co-op campaign. And then it happened to come with zombies. That's what I fell in love with Call of Duty for, is like the arcade type, not realistic, but the arcade-esque FPS, right? And it was just replayability out the wazoo for campaigning, definitely co-op. Like trying to pass the co-op in like less time. That where the competitive aspect of me came out, not during the multiplayer, because like, who gave a fuck if you had like #1 kills in the world? That wasn't popular until Apex came out, mind you. So What I'm trying to say is fuck these gaming companies.